Hi everybody, it's Angie from AMGartorium. We have a nice little painting we're going to do today. It's a winter scene with a little cabin. So here we go. I've just got some yellow ochre, which is just a little bit orangey yellow. So you can take yellow and add a touch of red and a touch of black to make this color. And we're starting in the center-ish. And my canvas is really wet. I've pre-wet it with a little bit of white, titanium white, and water mixture. So we've got a nice bright spot in the middle. I'm going to bring it up to here. And I'm going to wash my brush and pick up a little bit of blue and a little bit of black. Mostly blue, because black is a lot stronger than blue is. You don't want too much paint on the brush because it's a very dark color. So here we go. And it needs to be wetter. Even though I wetted it, it's still not quite wet enough. I want it darker up top. I'll dry my brush a little bit. Just kind of blend them into one another. Now we all know that blue and yellow make green, so it ends up being a little bit green, but not really. I'm going to come back over here. Just kind of do that. So this is a 1-inch brush I switched to here because my fan's not doing it for me. So we do want it a lot whiter near the bottom. I'm going to add a touch of white on this side. Okay, that is good. So you've automatically got a white spot, or a light spot where the sun is coming from. And okay, now we're going back to the 1-inch brush. 1-inch brush. And I'm picking up the same color, the bluey black. And we don't want it to be super dark, but we want a chiseled end. So make sure you pick up enough paint to make an end like that. Perfectly, well, it's not completely flat, but like a chisel. And we're going to start putting in some trees. And it's just going to be the shape of the tree. So I'm going to go here. That's a little bit dark. So I'm just going to kind of brush it out a little bit, make it a bit softer. Here's a big tree. I'm going to put a little bit of white with my blue. Just to make sure everything is nice and soft, because these are just the indication of trees. You don't want to have any definition really, just a little bit wider at the bottom than it is at the top. The harder you push, the darker the color's going to be. So if you be light, then it's not going to be quite as dark like I did here. That's way too dark, but we'll fix it later. It'll probably get covered up. So just the indication of some trees is what we want. Back here, you know, I can go a little bit darker over here because those don't even show up really. Gonna make a nice crooked one there because, you know, trees don't always grow straight. Gotta mix up some more blue and black. So I'm using, what's it called? Phthalo blue, and black is just the standard black, midnight black. And just remember that black is much stronger than blue. So it ends up being kind of a navy color. Got some more white. I just like some indication of long skinnies. These guys will fade a little bit because as it dries, it's not going to stay quite as dark. See, that one's really dark. So what I'm going to do is show you how to get rid of it. I don't like it. My brush is clean and wet. We're just going to essentially blend it in to the background. Same with this guy. He's got too much on him. So there can be even fainter ones further back. You don't have to fill up the whole area either. Just whatever you want. Okay, washing my brush. Okay, so now we're going to use the same color. It's going to be quite a bit darker because these trees are a little bit closer. I have to mix up some more. And I'm just going to... Washing my brush. Loading up the brush with paint. And it's a nice navy blue. So we're going to start with some trees that you can actually make out. So one's going to be here. And maybe here. And here. So take the corner of your brush. Oops. That didn't work very well. So I'm going to just kind of blend it in. Into the background. That's my dirty towel. Sorry, folks. I don't like to use paper towel for art because you go through an awful lot. Mixing up more bluish black. That's pretty dark, and I don't want that brush. I'm going to use my fan brush for this because it's easier for me. So, I do need to use the other one to make the trunk though. See, that's quite a bit darker, which is okay. So, take the corner of your fan brush and just put, oh, my brush is too wet. Dry your brush a bit. And we're just going to start back and forth. Top of that one looks kind of wonky, but it's okay. Load my brush back up, but not too wet. And we go. Need more paint. It should get darker as you go down. Like the bottom's going to be the darkest part of the tree, which it is not right now, so I'm going to add more. Okay. So there's two nice little trees. I'll put one here too. Way more paint needed. My paint is gonna fall. Are you still in frame? Yep. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, that's probably too wet. But we do want the bottom to be way more dark, so maybe that will work. So there's some trees. Now, so we said it was going to be winter. We're going to put some kind of bush-like things here. And it's going to start to come down in the middle. But you got to make sure that these doohickeys keep getting darker as they come forward. So that's already pretty dark. So these are just little grassy knolls, essentially, like hills. I got my brush pretty wet there. It's not running yet. That's okay. So it's okay. I'm going back to my 1-inch. So I have to wash him good. Because I want to pick up white paint now. Straight up white. Titanium white is what I have. Doesn't matter really. Okay, so I've got it chiseled again. Can you see that? Yeah. And we're going to grab here. And we're making the little snowy knolls. Now you can pick up a little bit of the green and it makes shadow, which is really kind of cool. And you start to lay the shape of your land here too. So yeah, mine's kind of hilly, which is cool, I guess. So I'm going to go back in with the dark green and relay those because, as you can tell, they're getting hidden. Okay, my fan brush again. And I'm just going to lay some here. And then this guy is going to be there. And this guy, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. The more of these you put in, the more depth your painting is going to have. So even if they're little ones, I'm going to have to change to a smaller fan brush because that's kind of large. But I'm coming back with the white again, and we're just going to drag that guy down. I want to pick up some of the darkness because it makes shadow. See? It's pretty neato. Okay, so I'm just doing this side now, and I do want to pick up some of the darkness. Just to give it shadow. Make sure the middle's nice and white where you want it to be. Not there. That's, oh, darn it. Okay. So we're going to have to lay those ones again, which is fine. No problem. Okay, I'm going to grab my smaller fan brush now. If I can find him. Yes. It's just a little thinner and not quite as fluffy. It's a boar hair brush. So I'm picking up the dark, bluish, greenish, whatever it is. Let's see, now I can put more detail into it, which is kind of nice. taking my white, and I'm going to have to drag this guy again so that we get some of his shadow right along the bottom of him. More white. I think I might put another row in. A few little guys. Just give it a little bit more depth. This guy's going to be dragged that way. See how I just made a little hill there? That was actually by accident. Make it look nice and smooth because that's the way that snow is. Okay. So I think we need some closer up trees. Just rinsing the brush out a bit. I can back up my small fan, and I have to remix some blue and black. And there we go. Using a lot of blue and black today. Not much else. White, I guess. Okay. So this one's got more blue in it. It actually looks very nice. I like that color. It's a little bit royal blue more than navy blue. So I'm going to just add a few more trees. We'll start on this side, I think. He's going to be a big guy that lives right there. Okay, so there's one tree. And I think I'll put one kind of really close here. Actually, I want him to be a little bit over there. A little bit darker down here, I think. Need a bit more black in there. A little too blue. This guy, he should be a lot darker than that, shouldn't he? That tree is. Now, I'm going to go for a liner brush here. I'm just going to put a few sticks and twigs in. The further back, the lighter they're going to be okay, but let's just put a few here. Got some kind of weird little bush. Good enough. And again, I would add quite a bit more detail if this was going for sale, which I will. This will be for sale, but I'm going to put more detail into it before then. But you get the idea. You have a nice little painting here, a nice little winter scene. trick about branches, because I still had dark paint on my brush, I just put white on one side and you get automatic shadow nicely. The other thing is I'm going to stick some trunks in this guy because he just looks like a whole mass of branches right now. If I don't want to see it as much, I'll try to get rid of it a bit. Okay, so they're actually okay. So yeah, I made that one way too big. I'm gonna just go back in with this guy and do that. I'm gonna fix the white here. And here. Okay, I need more white. Some good shadows there. And this guy. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit nitpicky. I still wanted that guy to be a bit lighter, that's why I did that. Okay, so taking my liner brush again. Pretty light blue color. I'm going to put a few sticks and stuff in here. Because they're not all going to be evergreens, right? Okay, so I accidentally made another tree there. Anyway, you get the idea, and I think that that's going to be all for today, and I'm just going to sign it right in here. AMG. That's a messy signature too. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this painting, and I hope you can try it yourself. It's quite fun.